Oscar Guy here. Doing something a little bit different today. We're gonna do a discussion video, the first really discussion video I've ever had on this channel. This is in regards to the WGA strikes and the SAG strikes, which means the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild are both on strike. The WGA has been on strike for over 70 days. And there has been absolutely no traction on it, by the way. No negotiations have happened. And then the SAG has gone on strike this past weekend. And what that means is that there's basically no way any production or any films in Hollywood under those contracts, under those WGA and SAG contracts, can be produced. Pretty much Hollywood has effectively been put on hold until an agreement is made and negotiations take place in order for actors and writers to get their proper contracts. And this has been building up for a long time. I believe every 3 years they have contracts that expire and they need to renegotiate their terms and everything. 3 years ago was 2020, and that's, we don't have to get into that. No one really kind of complained about their contracts because we had other things to complain about, obviously. So, and then 3 years before, WGA actually went on strike in 2017 and got what they needed. I'm not sure how long the strike lasted. But this year, a lot of things have changed since 2017. And a lot of that has to do with two things. One being streaming, and two being the advent of AI, artificial intelligence. As far as streaming goes, there really is no guidelines put in place for residuals for writers and for actors that are put in their contracts when it comes to streaming services. Now, if their movies are on cable TV, or if they're on, VOD or something like that, or rentals, they get those residuals. For streaming, it's a little bit different. I think they do get residuals, but it's not nearly the same amount as their regular residuals that they get. And that's unfortunate because streaming has absolutely exploded in the past several years. And it's pretty much what, these big companies are thriving off of. So, to put it bluntly, writers and actors are just not getting paid their proper wages. A lot of that has to do with that point that I just mentioned. And of course, like I said, the regulation of artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, AI in the past year or two has really taken off, and these companies are really gung-ho about incorporating it into anything at all. I'm not going to get into my personal thoughts on AI. I will say I don't like it at all. It's cool for a bit, but once people start losing jobs, that's not good. Obviously not good. So, but I digress. Basically, there are some AI rules that they want to put in place as far as, script writing, and even for actors, there's some clause in these new contracts that say that they can actually scan an actor, like what they call extras, extras that you see, background actors as they like to call them now, but they're essentially extras. They're in the backgrounds of films that aren't billed, or they're not, they're uncredited, basically, appearances. What these companies want to do is incorporate AI in a way that they can actually scan a person and use their likeness, and they own that person's likeness to use in films, in the backgrounds of films as extras, instead of actually having extras and spending all of this money and all of this overhead. But the problem with that is, once that person is scanned and used as an AI extra, if you will, the company owns that person's likeness, and they can't work, basically, because they can just use their AI image. It's frightening stuff. It's absolutely frightening stuff. And obviously, the Screen Actors Guild don't want any of it. Now, there could be a middle ground somewhere that they could come to and negotiate with, but that's why people are going on strike. So the strikes make sense in my opinion. I think they should go on strike. I think that the actors and the writers should get what they want. They need to be paid fairly. They need to have secure work in the future. If AI is integrated, it needs to be either not integrated at all, which good luck with that, or integrated in a way that people can still work, and it's, not used. It just needs to be regulated. It really just needs to be regulated. So that's basically the gist of what's going down. But yeah, this is pretty big. This is pretty big. Like I said, any film that has been in production is no longer in production. Not that films are canceled. Some films might be canceled, depending on how long these strikes last. But everything is basically put on hold. Hollywood is basically frozen. And not only that, not only will it directly affect Hollywood and the production of new films and TV shows, it will directly affect awards season and awards campaigning and even film festival appearances. From what I've heard, actors cannot even go campaign their films, campaign their performances. They can't attend film festivals where their films are premiering. Film festivals are right around the corner come late August. So if this strike is still in effect, then those actors cannot. I mean, the film festivals will still happen. The films are still going to premiere. But as far as I know, the actors and I think the writers cannot in any way attend these film festivals and campaign the films that they have worked on under these contracts. That being said, if this strike lasts for months and months and months, say into the fall and possibly even into the winter, this next award season is going to look very, very different than last year. And for any year that we've seen in recent memory, really. If the strike lasts for the rest of the year, then it's going to affect the Globes. I don't know if the BAFTAs will be affected. Probably, yeah. SAG, obviously, and even the Oscars. I see a world where I'm not sure. I don't want to be a pessimist or anything like that. I mean, I hope things get resolved very quickly. But I'm just thinking, if these strikes go on for a good portion of the year, they might even push back the Oscars and push back these awards bodies later into 2024. And films in 2024 are going to look very differently. There's probably not going to be as many films, and there's not going to be as many quality films at that. But really, the driving point is that's only one portion of this whole problem. This channel is still going to cover the award season and all that stuff, despite the industry kind of changing here a little bit. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that these writers and these actors really need to get what they deserve for their work. And I'm not talking about Aaron Sorkin and the Daniels and Martin McDonagh and these amazing screenwriters. And I'm not talking about Leonardo DiCaprio and Jessica Chastain and Lupita Nyong'o, to name a few. These are celebrities. They take up a very minuscule portion of these guilds. 95 to 99% of these actors and these writers in these guilds are cutting their teeth and going to these auditions day after day, not getting jobs here and there. They're hustlers. They're hustling. And for them to not even, see the light of day with these new contracts, they can't work. And it's crazy. From what I hear, the WGA are just kind of not really budging on their offers, and it's going to get to the point where these people are going to start losing their jobs. They're going to start losing their houses, their apartments. They're not going to afford to live in this country, which is just insane and very upsetting. So it's going to result in financial hardship, for a lot of people. So I just want to say that I stand in solidarity with both members of the WGA and the SAG. I stand with you guys. Get what you want. Fight for it. We need to save and preserve this industry, the film industry, Hollywood. We need to make sure people can work, we can deliver quality films, and that's it. And I feel like I needed to give my 2 cents on everything. I don't know everything about the situation. It goes way deeper than what I've been talking about. So there's some links in the description of some other people talking about this situation, YouTubers that I follow regularly who can explain this much better than I can probably. But I feel like that it was necessary to kind of let you guys know what's going on. So because it's going to affect everything if this keeps going on. So hopefully something will be resolved soon. Hopefully some negotiations will take place sooner rather than later. But in any case, thanks guys for watching. I'm going to see Barbie and Oppenheimer this weekend, so stay tuned for quickie reviews for both of those films coming out soon. Other than that, let's hope these actors and writers get what they deserve. Without further ado, I'm signing off. Thanks guys for watching. Oscar Guy is out.